So we're going to answer this example before us. It says, a factory produces calculators. The least square regression line for estimating the cost of production, y, as a function of the number of calculators x produced is given by this right here. So here's our least squared regression line. If the actual cost of producing 320 calculators is 3,250, find the predicted cost of production. Okay, let's pause here for a moment and just get our bearings. First things first, they're telling us that we're producing 320 calculators. We know, based on up here, the number of calculators produced is our x value. So this right here is our x value. They've also told us that the actual cost of producing 320 calculators is 3,250. So this right here is our actual y value. So I'm going to write this as y actual. It's our actual y value. Now, they've asked us to find the predicted cost of production. And when you're using the predicted cost, when you're trying to find the predicted cost, what you're doing is you're taking that x value and you're subbing it into your least square regression line. So let's give that a go. So we're going to come here and we're going to say, all right, we have y is equal to 600 plus 7.76. Then I'm going to times that by 320. And what I'm going to get out is y is equal to 3083.2. So just using your CAS, you'll get that out. Now, it's important to realize that this is our y predicted value. Now, we've got the answer there. We could just walk on down to the next question and go on it. But I just want to take a moment here just to make sure that we've all got our bearings on what we've just done here. So let's just come over here for a moment. And let's just draw ourselves some axes. Now, my y is the cost of production. So this is cost. And my x is the number of calculators that we're producing. And what we're concerned about is producing 320 calculators. So let's come over here. Let's put 320. And we've been told that the actual cost of producing 320 calculators is $3,250. So that's an actual data point right there. This actual data point is 3250. This is actual. What we've found is the predicted. So what we've done is we've said, well, we've got our least square regression line, which is given to us. Here it is right here. And to find the predicted, we have substituted in 320. And what we've gotten out is 3083.2. 3083.2. So you can see that the predicted one is less than the actual one. So the actual cost is more than the predicted. So just to go through that again, to find the predicted, we're subbing in our value into our least square regression line, and we can get the predicted one out. So this right here, this is predicted. Perfect. What we're now going to go on to find is the least square regression line. Now, this should be exactly vertical, shouldn't it? So let me just try this again. It should just be maybe here. Now what we're going to find is the residual. So this right here, that's what we want to find now, the residual. That's what the next question is going to be about, the residual. Okay, it says the residual value for 320 calculators produced is what? Well, to find the residual value, what do we do? Well, the residual value is equal to, and this is just the formula that you have written down, is the y actual minus the y predicted. That is all. So that means my residual value is going to be equal to, now the actual y value was 3,250, 3250, and then I'm going to subtract away from that the predicted, which was 3083. So there we go, this one right here, 3083.2. And what we're going to get out as our final answer here is, drum roll please, if you put that into your CAS, you'll get 166.8. That right there, everyone, is your residual value. That is your residual value right there. And we can kind of take note of what this actually is telling us. So what does this actually mean? It means, and I'll just kind of roll this off for a second, the actual cost is 166.8, and I'll put this in dollars, 166.80 cents above the predicted cost. That's what my residual is telling me. The actual cost is 166.8 above the predicted cost. Okay, the last part here, it says the residual value for the cost of producing 1,000 calculators was found to be 360. What was the actual cost of producing 1,000 calculators? Okay, so you might like to pause it, just kind of give that a few read-throughs, just to kind of get your head around what it's actually saying there. So it's saying that the residual value for the cost of this many calculators was 360. So they've given us the residual. They've given it to us. That's the residual right there, people. And what else have they given us? They've given us the X, because remember, calculators produced is the X. So what we're going to do is we're going to, again, use our formula, which tells me that the residual value is equal to the actual Y value minus the Y predicted. And what we're after in this question is the actual cost. So we want this. So meaning we should know what the residual value is and what the predicted value is to find what this is going to be. Okay, so how are we going to do that? Well, there's the residual value right there. Bang, we've got one in there. How can we find what the Y predicted is going to be? Well, to do that, to find what the Y predicted is going to be, we're going to have to use, so Y predicted, make sure you use your least square regression equation. So remember, it's Y is equal to 600 plus 7.76 X, and into the X spot, we're going to sub in the X value that we've been given, which is 1,000. So we'll times it by 1,000. That means what we're going to get out here is 8360. 8360. So now, as we continue writing this in, we're going to write, all right, we're trying to find out what the Y actual is. We're subtracting the predicted, which is 8360. And now what we're going to do to find what this actual Y is going to be, we need to get it by itself. So we're going to plus 8,360 onto the other side. So at the end of the day, my Y actual is going to be equal to 360 plus 8360. And that means my final answer here, once we add these together, again, using your calculator, is going to be 8720. And let's just say what this actually means. Therefore, it will actually cost $8,720 to produce 1,000 calculators. Calculators. That is what it's actually telling us. So that's how you approach it. This one was just a little different to what we've seen previously, but hopefully you're feeling comfortable with how it is you would approach these types of questions.